My fellow residents of Arlington, my fellow Virginians, and my fellow Americans, I address you today on a matter of great urgency. In challenging times, despite our many differences that make us truly unique and blessed, it is not our diversity, but our common ground as residents of Arlington, as residents of the great state of Virginia, and as fellow Americans that provide our greatest strength in our darkest times. A great emancipator once reminded us that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Regardless of material wealth, it is that valued treasure that measures our commonwealth. And in neither principal legacy nor footnote mention do I long in my twilight years to recall that in an hour when men turned their backs upon reason and virtue, that I marched along in silent stride. I do not wish for my epitaph, nor a last memory crossing that expanse between life on earth and what lay beyond, to be that when my nation most needed my time, my talent, and my treasure, that I was otherwise preoccupied. And so it is with deep regret, but out of moral obligation, that I inform you that matters are far worse than has been reported in the press regarding a prevalent and persisting partisan divide. But ask each resident of Arlington, each son and daughter of Virginia, and every American in this grave hour to summon the courage of a monumental Democrat leader and be reminded that we have nothing to fear but fear itself. As I share with you truly unsettling developments regarding a faith that we have not kept. And I want to make this perfectly clear, that this is not fake news, propaganda, partisan protest, nor demagoguery, because our community, our great commonwealth, and a nation demand our dedication, our courage, our integrity, and our commitment in this hour. As you are no doubt aware, tragic events in Charlottesville in the summer of 2017 precipitated a national fervor regarding memorials to the soldiers who fought for what has been called often a losing cause. And the ripples of that wave have even come to Arlington, named for the plantation home inherited by the man now at the center of this local controversy. Moreover, as you are no doubt aware, approximately 1 month ago, the Arlington Public School Board, under the leadership of its chairperson, Dr. Barbara Kaninanen, with guidance from Assistant Superintendent Linda Erdos, and brought upon motions presented to that democratically elected and deliberative body, Murica Grady, voted to change the name of Washington Lee High School, a local high school of great significance in the history of our community and the Commonwealth, and whose graduates have risen to national renown. And it would serve no purpose, nor provide no consolation to anyone to treat lightly this matter with any blithely stated phrase like mistakes were made, nor something simple such as it is what it is. For to do such, especially in a state that bears as a principal legacy in our nation's history, as being the cradle of the presidents and the source of most every one of our liberties ratified in the Bill of Rights to our Constitution, would be a betrayal to our Virginia pride and our heritage. At approximately 9 a.m. on Friday morning, the last day for which to file an injunction to forestall or prevent what was on evidence and abuse of discretion by the Arlington Public School Board, and a decision rationalized on clearly erroneous rationale, I, on behalf of myself and my campaign committee for the Arlington Public School Board in 2017, filed a complaint and petition for injunctive relief in the Arlington County Circuit Court. As a candidate committee, to surmount the high threshold necessary to prevail in obtaining the grant of an injunction of all those who could have taken this action in civil court, I was in the best supported firing position of advantage to take the shot. And the details that are in the complaint are simply shocking. Too shocking and voluminous to recount here. But suffice it to say, for now, that we are proceeding upon a corrected course that has the highest probability of achieving a desirable end, safe for all who are involved. This injunction action filed in the Arlington County Circuit Court is just one component of a three-pronged counterattack in which we are engaging in the fight in Northern Virginia to make America great again. Simultaneously executed legal actions filed with the Merit Systems Protection Board regarding the corruption of our merit-based civil service system in the offer of an attempted bribe to a congressional candidate to withdraw from the contest during the controversial 2016 national election, and an action in the City of Alexandria Circuit Court raising on appeal before a jury trial a charge of criminal trespass, a misdemeanor that should never have been brought into a court, nor have involved the complexities of constitutional transgressions, are continuing to progress, are bearing fruit, and provide strong indications that victory on this front in a national battle to restore the faith we have not kept is not far in the future. And so what are the correct words of this moment when following polls has lost those who we call our leaders? What can I say as one with ideological, religious, and political distance from a supermajority of those with whom I am encamped in a battle to save our lives, our families, our communities, our great commonwealth, and indeed our very nation? And with a school whose motto is General's Pride, it is only appropriate that we look to the guidance of a great general who I had the pleasure to meet while serving in the forces that keep our country free, and whose battalion command sergeant major I followed on my first jump from a perfectly good airplane. And indeed, like him, another Ranger, because Rangers lead the way. General Stanley McChrystal. When asked about his philosophy of command, General McChrystal stated that he asked only two questions. First, what is it that the organization that I command must do and be? And second, how can I best command to achieve it? So, now let me charge each and every one of you, my fellow residents of Arlington, with words familiar to yourself that might bridge this vast divide and forge ahead to make in Arlington and America great again. As to those to whom we have granted this trust, have abdicated their claim of right and engaged with full and complete knowledge of their gross dereliction of duty and sworn oaths to prosecute conduct unlawful and unbecoming, yet for which they push in a malevolent purpose to remove the name of an honorable son of a member of the First Family of Virginia, a man who told his students, the soldiers of his last command, that they had only one rule to guide their conduct, that they would conduct themselves always as gentlemen, an enduring legacy and tradition that continues from a small liberal arts college in the Shenandoah that today bears his name. A man who once said, in words befitting these trying times, "My trust and faith is in the mercy and wisdom of a kind providence that ordereth all things for our good." But perhaps you recall the words of a young man, dashing with a profile and courage, who dared us to go to the moon by the end of that decade, and who reminded us one and all of a land called Camelot when he spoke the words of farewell to his commonwealth of birth. I speak neither from false provincial pride nor artful flattery, For no man about to enter high office in this country can ever be unmindful of the contribution this state has made to our national greatness. Perhaps you may recall when he said, "Its leaders have shaped our destiny long before the great republic was born. Its principles have guided our footsteps in times of crisis as well as in times of calm." Perhaps you were inspired when he said its democratic institutions, including this historic body, have served as beacons of light for other nations as well as our sister states. Perhaps you were emboldened to summon your dedication, your courage, your integrity, and your commitment when emboldened by his words as that dashing young president beginning on his quest to create an enduring legacy and indeed begin a dynasty, when he said, "For what Pericles said to the Athenians has long been true of this Commonwealth. We do not imitate, for we are the model to others." And so I remind you in this most urgent moment and on this day of a dawning era of crisis that presents both danger and opportunity, to retreat from these words of courage, integrity, dedication, and commitment. You cannot even claim to be a John Kennedy Democrat. In battle, fortune always favors the bold. So be bold. And know full well that if you don't, then you have killed the spirit of the man from Camelot, John F. Kennedy, with more malice and evil purpose than that magic bullet from a lone gunman who claimed that he was just a pansy. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. If you claim to be a John F. Kennedy Democrat, like Libby Holden in the anonymously published Joe Klein work, Primary Colors, and you fail even to attempt to do this act, I say, Jack, I am so ashamed of you. And I remind you, as he did as he began his first small steps for himself, but giant steps for mankind, truly progressive in stride, and quoting the Reverend John Winthrop, a man from the history and heritage of his beloved Commonwealth. We must always consider, he said, that we shall be as a city upon a hill. The eyes of all people are upon us. And the man from that Commonwealth challenged us to recall, today the eyes of all people are truly upon us. Our governments in every branch, at every level, national, state, and local, must be as a city upon a hill, constructed and inhabited by men aware of their great trusts and their great responsibilities. And so, while certainly not my fellow conservatives, but truly my fellow residents of Arlington, citizens of a great Commonwealth of Virginia, and my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. God's work on earth must truly be our own. Has anyone here seen my old friend, John? Let us together, one and all, pray or just meditate on the words of another man of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that we might share together in its benefit. Lord, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so in closing, I am reminded of the final verse of an old and sad folk song that yet and still gave us hope for a brighter day and better one tomorrow. Has anybody here seen my old friend Bobby? Can you tell me where he's gone? I thought I saw him walking up over the hill with Abraham, Martin, and John. Now let us begin anew. God bless you, God bless Virginia, and God bless these United States. But always mindful that if America will be great again, the only power is with each and every one of you. And I have abiding faith in you. America, this is our Commonwealth. Non incautus futuri is the motto of Washington and Lee University, not unmindful of the future. My name is Major Mike Webb, and I am running for U.S. Congress. Next year, in Jerusalem, in liberty, with honor and excellence, the South shall rise again. Honest. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb.
Will Mr. Gorbachev tear down this wall?